how are you?
Hi, Polina. I'm very well. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time. Following the dramatic cancellation of the HRcore summit in Barcelona in March, the first virtual HRcoreAcademy was held in the late October. Iventicious provided the application for the virtual event and the web platform. So congratulations, firstly, on your determination to take this challenge to go virtual.
There was no other way.
Yeah, there was no other way, but I know that this decision was long to take. We discussed a lot before, and so it's good that we run it. Therefore, we meet to talk about how did you come up with the virtual event and about highlights for HR and L&D audience. So first of all, could you please tell about the event and about the organizing team?
Okay, well, the event is our HRcoreAcademy, one of our HR-focused events that previously we were organizing as a live events. This year, the 7th edition, we were forced to move it online. We were first considering having it as a hybrid event. However, the live location was supposed to be Amsterdam. Yeah. And as you know, the situation didn't allow any live meetings to take place. So we decided at the end, finally, at the beginning of September, to hold it just as an online event. The team is our company, Teneo Meetings. We are based in Barcelona. We specialize in putting together HR conferences, focusing on topics like recruitment, talent management, HR agility, people analytics. The academy, the HRcore Academy, was focusing on 2 topics. One was learning and development, and second topic was talent management.
Okay, so you already explained about the team. Was it for you easier or the opposite, more difficult to organize virtual event after physical ones?
Well, physical ones we've been organizing for over a decade. So we are quite experienced with putting together a live event. And I wouldn't say it's easy, but at least we know what to expect. We know how to prepare for it. We know how to run it. Virtual event was definitely a challenge because we didn't know what to expect. We had an idea, but you can only, read that much. You can prepare yourself that much. But the execution on a day, that was a steep learning curve. We did survive. I think we learned a lot from it. We are much better prepared for the next one. But this first fully virtual event was definitely a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember those days. It was very challenging for us and for you, I remember. But you did your job very good. The program was amazing and the organization as well. Thanks. But anyway, we are all was looking for some interactive tools to bring like better experience than just webinars. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially that, having 2-day program, 2 full days, it's a challenge. It's much more complex. Sorry, it was 2 days. It's definitely much more complex than putting together a webinar, which is one kind of closed block of 2-3 hours maximum, where all the elements are much easier to put together and to manage. Here, having 2 days program, 2 parallel streams, it's over 40 speakers. That's amount of complexity, level of complexity that does require a lot of juggling and flexibility and dealing with all kind of issues on the spot.
Absolutely. Do you think that organizing virtual event requires the same or even more resources, more team members to organize virtual event than for physical, or it's the same?
I think it requires less resources, but because it's so heavily dependent on the tools and platform and this a virtual tech, the resources are much more important. The physical event, you need more people on the day of the event. You need to have your your AV people, technicians, hostesses. There is whole the venue itself, which we organize it in hotels. There is a whole team of people in the kitchen, in setting up the thing. So there is much more, let's say, physical let's say, resources needed for the live events. However, the online event is, I think, with the right tool, it's easier to organize it. But yeah, having the right tools, it's crucial, because these tools have much more weight to them than if one person in the real event, in the physical event, fails to show up to the kitchen to prepare the catering for the participants, nothing happens. Here in our team, during this virtual event, between us and you and the AV company we're using, if one person wouldn't be there, the whole thing was.
And what was the purpose of the event?
The purpose of this particular event, similar like our events, like our other events, was to bring together people from mostly across Europe, the HR practitioners, to give them platform to learn from other HR leaders, to give them opportunity to network with their peers, benchmark what they're doing in their companies, and connect them to the leading providers of HR solutions and tools. Live events are designed for these three purposes: learning, networking, benchmarking. Virtual event, as we saw, it was more for learning than networking and benchmarking. However, I believe that many of the participants did find also opportunities to network and benchmark.
Yeah, but since you started already about the specific for the learning, mostly learning than networking, I will announce some stats, post-event stats. There was 1,350 participants in the app and on web. 511 total questions to speakers, and comments, almost 2,200 general browsing broadcasting. So it really was mostly probably learning experience for the audience, and then networking. We have already supported some events where there was much more communication. We've seen that on your events, participants mostly were asking professional questions to the speakers, and they were watching webinars. Do you think it was the specific of the audience, so they came to study, to learn, than to network?
Yeah, the data suggests that, and we can be only guessing about the specifics of the audience, but the data shows that they were there mostly learning. They were there mostly watching, asking questions to speakers. The interactions between them and speakers was great, as you're saying. There was over 500 messages there, questions asked, and you can say that that HR people, HR professionals might be less of a networkers than, let's say, the social media people. Right.
Yes.
I know that within our participant, between our different conferences, there are also different levels of, let's say, networking profiles. I would say that recruiters want to network or do network more than compensation and benefits professionals.
Yeah, of course.
So it differs, but I think the networking can be increased by the right education of the participants, setting the right expectations, showing them how they can do it, providing a platform for it. So I guess in our case, we didn't focus enough on setting the right stage for networking. And our main focus was to provide the right stage for learning. Focusing on getting the right speakers, having a proper platform where they can see the speakers, where they can ask questions, and networking was rather secondary focus here.
Yeah, so you have already started talking about the audience. Could you please tell more about them? Were there more HR recruiters or team leaders or more L&D profs? And what about the geography?
The majority of participants were from European Union region, or let's say broader EMEA region. I don't remember exactly how many countries were represented, but I believe something.
Lots, yeah, I remember.
Over 50,
yeah.
over 50 different countries. But yeah, the biggest geography is definitely Europe, mainland Europe, UK, so France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Spain, Nordic countries. Those would probably be responsible for 75% of participants. When it comes to the seniority job titles, the biggest group I would say was around senior manager, director level. We do have also quite a few of top level HR executives, CHROs, vice presidents of HR, as well as specialists like recruiters and talent scouts. There is a whole spectrum. However, the biggest chunk would be this kind of middle management, senior managers, directors, leads, heads, as they find probably most useful, they find the information that we provide most useful for them, since this is a strategic HR information, looking at the HR strategies, HR approaches. Those are the profiles that can benefit most from learning about it.
We received very good feedback from your participants. They posted comments and feedback on Capterra with a review of the application, and they sent us like private messages. So for us, it's a very good experience with your audience. What about other partners? Was it successful for them? What maybe some features have they used that were good, or what can be improved for them? What are their experiences?
We have very good feedback from them. Many of them are joining us for the next event, the one we are organizing right now for the March 2021, and some of them signing contracts for the whole year of 2021. So yeah, they were quite happy. I must say that those that did have presentations were happier than others, because the presenting, being visible, having a platform where you can talk about your, not even directly talk about your services. Actually, what works best for the solution provider is to come and feature their client, to introduce the client and have the client speak for them. This is the best way to present your services, since having a case study from the client who had success with your tool or solution, that goes a very long way. People trust it better, and people can learn from practical implementation of certain tool or service. So those that did have presentations who approached it like that were very happy. They had many participants coming to their virtual booth, asking for more information, scheduling follow-up calls. So feedback was great. Not sure what I could suggest for the future, how to enhance it. I know that from our side, what we could do better is to educate the partners and sponsors more on how to, how to maximize these networking and promotional possibilities that the virtual event and particular platform gives. So this is what we'll be focusing on next. However, sponsors tend to understand better what is required of them and how they can maximize this their participation in such events.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good point that also a lot of things depends on sponsors, and we have to teach them. We're also looking always for some new tools and features to bring the more interactivity for partners and for attendees, and also we are launching new functionality with the quests. So this can give the option for sponsors to firstly maybe to give the speech or to publish some videos or some other materials, and then just to track the attention and to bring more involvement in these materials. They can create some probably curious or funny quests. By passing over each step, participants can win some points, or we can track their results, how they passing deeply in the information provided from partners. So this is our new features. We will present it soon, and I hope it's also going to help for the partners for your future events to be more visible and to interact more with participants.
Definitely. definitely. This will be a feature that can be used to the advantage of this sponsors involved.
Yeah, of course. So let's experience it. He already explained a lot about the advantages with the application for the participants, but maybe you have something more to add. How did you plan to help the participants with the app to participate in the event?
Well, we did prepare a video that we sent to the participants, how to use the application, what are the main functions and functionalities, explain which parts of the application allow them to consume the content, let's say, watch the content, see the booths of the sponsors, which are the functions that allow them to communicate between themselves, like chat, like requesting a meeting, and how to find other participants, similar ones for networking. The application was pretty straightforward. That was something that we liked a lot. That there was not much to explain, to be honest. Everything was very, very clear. Everything was well labeled, and so we weren't worried about that to help them to use it. I think what we didn't do right was to encourage it more. Let's say maybe through more, I don't know, more engagement, more gamification. Although we did have these options, I'm just trying to think how we could improve it in the future from our point of view, from our what could we have done better. The application had all the functions that we needed. It's just maybe we didn't use them well enough or towards the 100% of their functions.
In connection with the changes in the event industry of this year, we're witnessing a transformation of the events. The virtual events became more extended in time, with other activities intervene between the main sessions or between the meetings. I know that you are preparing for the HRcore Summit in March. And how do you plan to interact with the audience between these events?
Well, that's a great question, because it seems that these days just running events is not gonna cut it. It's great to have people logging into the platform and participating in the event over this couple days when taking place, but we do see the need to interact with them in this periods between. And right now we are putting together actually quite interesting, let's say, offering. Apart from the HRcoreAcademy, the one in October, and the HRcore Lab that we have in March, we're going to have HRcore Nordic, which is the Nordic focus event in May, and then we have HRcore Reward, and then we have HRcore Online, which is all the content online. It's an online platform where we will provide this online content like pre-recorded presentations, webinars, other interesting things that might engage our audience. So not only have them, the idea is to not only have them at this virtual event itself, but to provide them with content and value to be with us throughout the whole, let's say, year. Content is the key these days, and of course, putting together all this content for the squeezed into a couple days of the event is good. It's a one complete package. However, knowing that people might not have enough time to consume all that, giving them more content throughout the year might engage them and provide them more value than just the event itself. So
can we call it like interaction with the community?
Community is the key here. Building community is the goal of many let's say event organizers these days, to not only have them hop in and hop out, but to be engaged, to have them engaged, to have them interact with each other, and create this extra value of being part of something. So yeah, totally. That's the focus. That's the direction we want to take. It's a challenge. There is loads of, let's say, there is loads of noise out there. So getting through that noise, curating the right content, engaging people on topics and issues that are important to them, that's the challenge. If this is done right, there is a chance to create a community around these topics and these issues.
You arrived to bring almost 1,400 participants to the virtual event. For the virtual events, it's quite challenging as well. So it showed that you're quite effective to work with community and especially with content creation.
For the March event, we are looking to double that number. So at the event have at least 3,000 registered participants interacting, networking, sharing content. That's the goal. I think we are right now looking at our current progress. We are on the very good, let's say, way to achieve it.
Great, absolutely great. So you're probably familiar with the HR's interest and tool selection trends. Could you please share, if you have some vision of what topics are most demanding in the team management and how is their transition to mobile solutions in managing teams and teaching them?
Well, from what I hear, what we hear at our events from our participants is that, current situation does require companies to focus more on managing these dispersed remote teams. So when it comes to team management, all the tools that allow the mobile remote workers who work from home, who work from different locations, to still interact with the rest of the team, to still being effective, efficient, and contribute to the rest of the team goals. When it comes to the learning, solutions and trends, well, again, remote learning, online learning, self-learning, providing people with different, let's say, different ways how they can evolve their skills and knowledge. Not only online courses, but certain libraries where they can find different, let's say, different formats of learning tools, learning materials. Customization is definitely one of the trends. The one size fits all, it's long gone. Right now, it's about finding custom solutions, finding solutions that do fit into the workload. And
thank you. It's very interesting. If you get back to the virtual events, yesterday I talked to the organizers who expressed the point that when the physical events will be allowed again, I hope it's going to be soon. Anyway, they will add a virtual part to expand and to reach the audience. So how do you see the future of the physical events? Will virtual session be forgotten like bored to death, or is it an effective additional innovation for the physical events?
Yeah, there is a big talk in the event community these days about pivoting to the hybrid events. So once the live events will be again possible to hold, to organize, what part will the virtual play in that setting? Right now, depending on the location, there is certainly different timeline for Europe, different countries in Europe, for states, for other parts of the world. Some countries will allow having live events probably as early as Q2 next year, so from April, May. However, this will still be difficult to have live events, since other countries might not allow it. The companies will not allow their workers, their employees to travel. So I don't think the live events will come back before second half of next year. When it comes to hybrid, when it comes to the virtual part of it, that's a difficult question, because having a live event is one level of complexity. having the virtual one, it's another level of complexity. If you put them together, this rises to a
you double it.
Exactly, it's like the power of two. So I don't think that the hybrid event can simply have recording of the live sessions streamed online. I mean, you can do it this way. However, this can lead to this death by video effect. Yeah. These two events, these two forms of event have different dynamic, have different moderation, different ways how to engage people. I think that rather the hybrid events will go in or could go in a way in the direction of having the two, but not necessarily at the same time. Yeah. You know, live event that can last 2 days physically can be held over these 2 days, but the virtual part of it doesn't have to be on these 2 days exclusively. Yeah, of course. It can start a couple of days before, it can last for a couple of days after, and especially this will allow people to participants, solution providers, speakers to interact in both this environment, just at different times. So they have more time and they can put more focus in that interaction, in consuming the content, in networking, learning. So it's also hard to say what would be the best solution for everyone. Each event has different goals, each event has different audience, and each event will require different solution and different approach. However, thinking about our events, hybrid events next year, I think we would rather go this path to have our smaller live event on these 2 or 3 days, and then the virtual part built around it to extend the whole event, to give people option to interact prior to the event and after the event as much as during the event.
Thanks a lot for for your opinion about these topics. My last question was about your next plans, but you already told a lot about it. If you have something to add for the future HRcore Summit in March or for your other activities?
Well, yeah, we are going ahead with this March event as a fully virtual. And the next one after that, the HRcore Nordic, is scheduled for May. And at this moment, we still don't know if it's going to be virtual only or if it's going to be hybrid. Hard decision. We will look at the situation after the Christmas in January and decide then. It's definitely much easier to decide straight away all our events will be virtual next year, because then at least you know what to prepare for, how to plan, and what to do. But we know that that hybrid events ultimately will bring more value. The live events will come back. Live participation has enormous value from the point of view of networking, of meeting people, establishing connection. As soon as this is possible, it will come back. Now it's this transition period between fully virtual to fully live, and it's trying to figure out what's the best way forward and how to survive this transition period. And of course, I don't think virtual will go away totally. It will always be, once it has been tested during this year and next year, once it has been tested and proven that it works well, it will always be part of the event industry. It's just finding the right balance between the live, virtual, find the best as having these two channels, finding the best, let's say, use for both of them in the whole, let's say, picture as event organizing is.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for your time. I really hope that next year or really soon we will be able to meet in real life.
I hope so too. I hope so too, that soon things will start getting back to normal and we can, take the learnings from this period and apply them in the new environment and, move forward with our businesses, with our lives. Everyone's waiting for that, and definitely once it's possible, we'll welcome in Barcelona. Hope we're gonna visit soon, and that we're gonna, continue our collaboration in the future.
And just before the meeting, you mentioned that this year is quite challenging, and all the tasks to run virtual activities are quite challenging for you and your further steps as well. But it's very interesting. So you love to to discover these opportunities and to track some new trends and so on. So it's the same for us. This year was quite challenging and difficult for all the event industry, but anyway, it's very interesting to achieve. It's very interesting to find solutions. Congratulations on this. And
thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, yeah, it's, that's, you know, we've been put in this situation against our will, and yeah, it's everyone is forced to find the best kind of way to operate in this reality. And you know, sometimes it's good to be shaken a little bit, taken out from your seat, and you know, forced to move and explore and find other ways. You know, the change is definitely, you know, it's not something that people want, but it's definitely something that leads to progress. And
yeah, great.
yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Polina. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.